The city buzzed with life. Horns blared, voices clashed, and phones rang in an endless loop of distraction. Chaos ruled the streets, but amidst it all, one figure stood still, unbothered, silent. What if silence was the most powerful response you could ever give? We exist in a world that never stops talking. Social media arguments erupt over trivialities. Office gossip spreads like wildfire. Insults, disguised as humor, cut deeper than they should. The noise surrounds us, tempting us to react, to defend, to retaliate. But what if the strongest move wasn't to respond, but to remain silent? Silence is often mistaken for weakness, for surrender, for a lack of confidence. But true silence, the kind that is deliberate, calculated, and controlled, is a weapon. It is power wielded by those who refuse to be swayed by the chaos around them. Marcus Aurelius led an empire in silence, unshaken by the rumors whispered through the corridors. Rome. Seneca, despite the criticism of his enemies, chose self-mastery over retaliation. Epictetus, born into slavery, found freedom not in his words but in his mind. The Stoic path is clear. Silence is not passivity, it is strength. It is the art of restraint, the discipline of knowing when to speak and when to let the world exhaust self in meaningless chatter. Today you will learn how to use silence as a tool, to command respect, to navigate conflict, and to protect your inner peace. By the end of this journey, you will no longer feel the need to react to everything. Instead, you will learn the wisdom of saying nothing at all. So if you're ready to rise above the noise, to take control of your emotions, and to master the art of silence, stay with me. And before we dive in, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson in Stoic wisdom. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and let's build a community of strength, discipline, and quiet confidence. And when gossip surrounds you, the whispers started small, a passing mention, a quiet murmur. But soon, they spread like wildfire. Your name dances from one conversation to another, twisted, exaggerated, reshaped into something unrecognizable. You hear the rumors in the hallway, see them pop up in messages, feel the weight of glances that linger too long. Your instinct? To fight back, to correct the lies, to prove that you are not who they say you are. But before you do, ask yourself, does defending yourself actually silence the gossip, or does it give it more power? Gossip thrives on attention. Every time you react, you feed it. You give it energy, allow it to grow. But when you remain silent, the fire dies on its own. The words lose their weight. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, knew this well. He was constantly slandered by political rivals, by jealous allies, by those who sought to undermine him. But he never chased after his reputation. He never wasted time refuting lies. Instead, he lived with such integrity that his actions spoke louder than any rumor, and that is the lesson. Those who know you, who truly matter, will not be swayed by idle talk. And those who believe the gossip, they were never worth your concern to begin with. So what should you do? Double down on your work. Let your results, your character, your consistency reveal the truth. Waste no energy on defending yourself when your actions will do it for you. Because silence is not surrender. It is strategy. It is a power move that leaves the gossipers with nothing but their own empty words. Do when you're insulted. The words come fast, sharp, cutting, designed to provoke. A comment laced with sarcasm, an insult disguised as a joke, a direct attack meant to shake you. You feel the heat rise, the instinct to respond, to strike back. So, with something just as biting. But before you do, pause. Who truly wins when you react? An insult only holds power if you let it. If a stranger calls you a failure, does that make you one? If someone mocks your choices, do their words change your path? An insult is merely another person's perception. It only becomes your truth if you accept it. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest Stoics, knew this well. As an advisor to Nero, he faced constant criticism. Some called him corrupt, others a hypocrite. But did he waste his breath on defense? No. He understood that true power lies in indifference. He mastered himself, and in doing so became untouchable. Imagine insults as arrows flying toward you. Instead of piercing your skin, they hit stone. Your unshaken mind, your impenetrable fortress. They fall to the ground, harmless, forgotten. Breathe. Ask yourself, does this truly matter? Most of the time, the answer is no. So the next time someone tries to bring you down, don't give them what they want. Don't engage, don't react. Simply move forward. They don't control me. I do. 3. When you're angry. The heat rises quickly. Your pulse races, your fists tighten, your breath shortens. Someone just disrespected you, maybe with words, maybe with actions, but the reaction is instant. Your mind floods with comebacks, sharp words waiting to be unleashed. But before you speak, before you act, pause. Anger is fire. If left unchecked, it burns everything. Your peace, your relationships, your judgment. We've all been there. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Someone speaks to you in a way that stings. Someone disrespects your effort, your intelligence, your boundaries. The anger feels justified, powerful even. But power without control is destruction. The strongest person is not the one who reacts first. It's the one who controls their reaction entirely. Take a breath. That single pause creates distance between the trigger and your response. And in that space, you reclaim control. Here's the secret. People expect you to react. When they insult or provoke you, they want to see you flinch, to hear you snap. But when you say nothing, when you hold your ground completely composed, that silence unsettles them. It forces them to sit in their own words, to feel their own energy reflected back at them. And often they regret what they said. Seneca called anger a brief insanity. It blinds you, turns you into someone you don't want to be. Think about, how many friendships have crumbled over a heated argument? How many regrets were born from words spoken in a moment of rage? Stoicism doesn't tell you to suppress anger. It tells you to master it. To understand it, control it, and channel it into something constructive. So the next time you feel that fire rising, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow, next week, next year? More often than not, the answer is no. And in that realization, in that moment of self-control, you don't just avoid destruction, you rise above it. When facing unjust criticism, the words come sharp, cutting, meant to wound. A harsh critique, a baseless accusation, a comment laced with judgment. It stings for a moment, the instinct to defend yourself bubbling to the surface. But then, you pause. Does this criticism actually matter? No matter what you do, whether you succeed, fail, take risks, or play it safe, someone will always have something to say. But the real power lies in how you respond. A Stoic does not react emotionally to criticism. Instead, they ask a simple question. Is this valid? If the answer is yes, use it, improve from it. If the answer is no, discard it. Let it go. It was never yours to carry. Not all criticism deserves your attention. Some people speak from jealousy, others from ignorance. Some simply want to provoke a reaction. Your job is not to engage, but to filter the noise. Think of criticism like a package delivered to your door. Just because someone sends it doesn't mean you have to accept it. If it holds value, take it in. If it doesn't, return it to sender. Your mind is your domain. Only you decide what stays. Marcus Aurelius understood this well. He ruled the most powerful empire in the world, yet he never let outside opinions shake his inner foundation. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Try this. Write down the criticism. Every word that stung, every phrase that lingers. Look at it objectively. Is there truth in it? If yes, learn from it. If not, rip the paper in half. Watch as the negativity falls away, both physically and mentally. True strength lies in selective listening. A Stoic does not argue with baseless critique, nor do they defend themselves against every opinion. They understand that not all voices deserve their attention. So the next time someone criticizes you unfairly, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If not, let it go. Stay silent. And in that silence, you become untouchable. When dealing with loss seem. The wind carries the last leaves of autumn across the horizon. A lone figure stands on a hill, watching as the sun dips below the earth, its light fading into darkness. Loss is inevitable. A relationship ends. A loved one passes. A dream slips away. And in those moments, the weight of grief feels unbearable. The natural instinct is to resist, to hold on, to wish things were different, to fight against reality itself. But resistance only deepens suffering. The more we struggle against what is already gone, the more we trap ourselves in pain. Memento mori, the Stoic reminder of mortality, teaches us that everything in life is temporary. Everyone we love, everything we own, even our own existence, it is all borrowed. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic emperors, knew loss intimately. He lost children, he lost friends, he lost battles. But instead of collapsing under grief, he embraced acceptance. Loss is nothing more than change, and change is the nature of the universe. To accept impermanence is not to become indifferent. It is to become free. Free to appreciate what we have while we have it. Free to let go when the time comes. Free to find strength in embracing reality rather than resisting it. Instead of focusing on what was taken, focus on what was given. Instead of saying, I lost them, say, I was lucky to have them at all. Instead of mourning the end, honor the moments that existed. This is not about suppressing grief. Feel it, process it, but don't let it consume you. Because loss is not the end. It is simply a transformation, a part of life's natural rhythm. The world will change. People will come and go. Nothing lasts forever. But if we accept this, we will live with greater purpose, greater love, and greater peace. So when faced with loss, breathe. Remind yourself this moment is fleeting, just as all moments are. And in that understanding, find strength, not in resisting what is gone, but in embracing what was. 6. When witnessing injustice. The streets are filled with noise, shouting, fists raised, voices clashing in anger. A storm of outrage sweeps through the crowd, a desperate demand for change. And in the middle of it all, one figure stands still, watching, listening, choosing their next move wisely. Injustice is everywhere. Corruption, cruelty, unfairness. The instinct is to react immediately, to fight back, to shout, to express outrage. But Stoicism offers a different approach. Silence does not mean inaction. It means choosing your battles wisely. Anger without direction is wasted energy. Reacting without strategy is fighting a battle with no plan. The Stoic understands that to truly make a difference, action must be deliberate, measured, and focused. On what can actually be controlled, ask yourself, what is within my power to change? Can you rewrite an unfair law overnight? No. But can you educate yourself, influence your community, or take meaningful steps toward justice? Yes. Real power lies not in blind outrage, but in strategic action. Too often, people mistake venting for change. They rage online, argue in comment sections, believe they are fighting for justice, but in reality, they are only feeding division. So instead of arguing, take action. Mentor someone. Donate. Organize. Create real impact where it matters. Instead of shouting at those who disagree, educate those who are open to learning. Instead of fueling division, lead by example. What if, instead of feeling helpless, you saw injustice as an opportunity to practice wisdom by choosing effective action over emotional reaction, an opportunity to practice courage by standing up for what is right, even in small ways, an opportunity to become a leader by inspiring others through action, not just words. Change does not come from shouting into the void. It comes from disciplined, intentional effort. Yes, injustice is infuriating. Yes, it deserves a response. But let that response be measured. Let it be effective. Let it be worthy of a Stoic. So the next time you witness injustice, pause, breathe. Ask yourself what action will make the greatest impact, then do that. 7. When facing ignorance. The conversation drifts into dangerous waters. Someone makes a bold, misinformed claim, confident, unwavering, completely convinced of their own correctness. You feel the urge to correct them, to lay out the facts, to prove them wrong. But then you pause. Is this worth it? Ignorance is a wall, and sometimes no amount of reason will break through. You cannot force wisdom onto someone who isn't ready to receive it. Epictetus understood this well. It is impossible to begin to learn that which one thinks one already knows. A Stoic does not waste time arguing for the sake of argument. Instead, they ask a simple question. Is this person open to learning? If yes, then teach. Are they simply arguing to argue? If yes, then disengage. Because silence in the face of ignorance is not weakness, it's strategy. Socrates mastered this art. He didn't argue. He asked questions. He led people to contradict themselves, forcing them to see the flaws in their thinking without ever raising his voice. Try it yourself. Instead of saying, "That's wrong," ask, "What makes you believe that?" Instead of debating aggressively, ask, "Have you considered this perspective?" Let them speak. Let them unravel their own logic. More often than not, they will stumble over their own contradictions. And if they don't, if they refuse to engage with reason, then the strongest move is silence. Your time is limited. Your energy is precious. Not every conversation deserves your effort. Engage with those who seek understanding. Walk away from those who only want to fight. Because wisdom is not about proving you are right. It's about knowing when the discussion isn't worth it. So the next time someone tries to bait you into an argument, stay silent. Let them struggle. Against their own words, that silence, that calm refusal to engage, that is power. When surrounded by boasting. The room hums with energy. Laughter, loud voices, people taking turns one-upping each other. Achievements, wealth, connections, all paraded for admiration. Some nod along, eager to be impressed. Others wait for their turn to speak, to match the energy, to prove they belong. But in the midst of it all, One person remains silent, watching, unmoved. Confidence is quiet. Insecurity is loud. Those who feel the need to announce their success are not always as accomplished as they seem. More often than not, their boasting is a shield, an attempt to convince not just others, but themselves. A Stoic does not engage in this game. When others inflate their achievements, a Stoic remains centered, untethered by the need for external validation. Marcus Aurelius, ruler of the most powerful empire in the world, never sought praise. Instead, he reminded himself, "The applause of others is meaningless if I do not first approve of myself." Because true confidence doesn't seek approval, it exists on its own. Try this. Next time you're in a room full of boasting, don't join in. Observe instead. Who reacts? Who feels the need to compete? You'll notice something. Those most secure in themselves don't need to speak. Want to test your self-discipline? For the next 24 hours, don't mention your achievements. If someone brags, let them. Just nod, smile, and move on. See how it feels to let your actions, your character, and your results speak for you. The world rewards those who talk the loudest, but it respects those who don't need to. So the next time you find yourself surrounded by boasting, pause, breathe, and remember, silence speaks louder than words. 3. When rumors spread about you. The whispers start small, a name mentioned in passing, a quiet exchange behind closed doors. But soon, the words multiply, twisting and warping as they spread. Your name is spoken, your reputation questioned, and the temptation to respond, to fight, to set the record straight rises inside you. But then you stop. What others think of you is none of your concern. A lie can travel halfway around the world before the truth even puts on its shoes. But here's the truth. You don't need to chase after it. A Stoic understands that when falsehoods spread, there are two choices: react, defend, explain, fueling the fire. Remain still, silent, and let your actions speak over time. The wise choose the second, because truth is patient, and lies eventually collapse under their own weight. Marcus Aurelius knew this well. As emperor, he faced relentless attacks, political enemies whispering in dark corners, false accusations meant to discredit him. But did he argue? Did he chase after every rumor? No, he simply lived with integrity. And in the end, history remembers him, not his critics. Your greatest test is not in times of praise, but in times of misrepresentation. Can you stay calm when falsely accused? Can you resist the urge to explain yourself to those who don't deserve an explanation? Can you let go of the need to be understood by those who were never going to listen? Those who matter, the ones who truly know you, will not be swayed by idle gossip. And those who believe the lies, they were never worth your time to begin with. Here's the ultimate power move. Do nothing, do not explain, do not chase, do not lower yourself. Let time do the work for you. Rumors fade, the truth remains. So the next time you hear your name in whispers, just breathe and remind yourself, let them talk, I have a life to live. The water is still, untouched by the wind. A lone figure stands at the edge of a quiet lake, their reflection unbroken, mirroring the calmness of their mind. The world is loud, filled with noise, opinions, and endless demands for attention. But true power does not belong to the loudest voice. It belongs to the one who knows when to stay silent. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every rumor needs correction. Real strength is not in reacting, it is in restraint. When you master silence, you gain something far greater than words could ever offer. Freedom. Freedom from the need to prove yourself. freedom from the weight of others' opinions, freedom to move through life with quiet confidence and unshakable peace. Mastering silence is mastering control. The greatest leaders, the wisest philosophers, the strongest individuals, were they the loudest in the room? No. They understood that silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. As you move forward, ask yourself, where in your life can you practice silence? Where can you choose patience over reaction? Where can you let your actions, not your words, do the talking? If today's lesson resonated with you, your journey isn't over. Watch the next video on mastering emotional detachment, because once you learn to remain unshaken, no one, not gossipers, not critics, not even your own emotions, will have power over you. Let's continue this journey together.